How you going? We're doing a 4-story roof today, soft wash. So we're going old school. We got Tim down there making up some backpacks. We're going to spray it all by backpack. So it's a quite large roof. We are 4 stories high, so we got scaffolding as a buffer all the way across the back. And then what we're going to do is put some anchor points in the tile roof, and we're going to run some static lines. So got our static lines there. So what I'll have to do is I've kicked 2 tiles to find they got sarking, which is great news for us. So I'm just finding the beam, and the beam's just here. So what we'll do is get a Stanley knife and we'll cut that out, and then we'll patch that before we go, because we're going to run a static line to the front side there. So we'll run it over this ridge over to the front ridge, so it's suspended in the air roughly, and then we'll work the front, and then we'll come back this way. So we'll get a Stanley knife and we'll get this cut. We'll pull these tiles out, because that one can come back down because it's over there. So we'll kick that second one up and we'll pull these bottom 2 out. We'll cut a section, and then that way we can dust it off and patch it and go from there. So what we've done is we pulled that tile down because we want this beam here. So what we'll do is dust it out a little bit, get rid of that excess dust. We'll fix it up a little bit later. This tile here, we can just kick this one up. Take that one out. So what I like to do is I like to get it in between the rafters. Make sure you got one of these. So Stanley knife. Hang on. Check where it is first, and then cut down like that. Check where it is, cut like that. Give it a good distance, and then come across the bottom. Like that. Then you can flip it over there. So that's some pretty good sarking. It's got the silver on the back. So what I want to do is pull that one down like that. So that's the way I like it. It's a pine joist. So it might have been replaced with the hardwood here. This was probably being replaced by the look of that. So then what we do is grab the anchor point, big D shackle around the bottom, like that. Get that webbing down there, and then shackle through there like that. And then you got an anchor point. And we can mount the rope to that. So we'll run the rope, walk across here with a harness on. So go across there, drop it on the other side, and do the same thing, run the static line through. So once I got that done, I'll show you, because I won't film it while I'm doing it because it's not really health and safety. So we'll take the rag with us, dust that off again, because we've got duct tape down there ready to go to patch that up. So we'll show that at the end of the video, patching these up, because we'll patch them up as we finish the roof. So as you can see, I'm not going to move too fast. Got the static line across the roof there, one point to the next. I've got my retractable lanyard block that locks as soon as I do a little movement. And then Tim's using a roof harness kit that he can strengthen up as he goes. So the roof itself is going to come up really clean. Just got to watch all the sand and grit coming off the roof, so All we're doing is just moving nice and slow, very slow movements. It's not a quick job, this one. It's just back to basics. Probably where most people start in their career, using a little pressure pack. This is the type of way I like to do these high roofs because it's safer. You have more control over your chemicals. You can see where you've missed stuff as you go. You use less chemical, so you can see me. You can use less chemical when you're doing it this way. You're very controlled on where you're putting it. You have very minimal runoff into the gutters because a lot of it soaks into the tile itself. So it's a very controlled environment, but this is kind of what you have to do on these really high 4-story, 5-story buildings. I understand this type of work is not for everybody. I'm scared of heights, so if this roof was like the neighboring roof over there, I'd probably question whether I did it or not because it's a bit steeper. This one's not too bad for me at this height. That one there, I'd do that one with like a pressure wash, where I could wash into it, but as a chemical wash, probably not so much. But I would put the price up on that one so much that if they wanted me, they wanted me. If they didn't, they didn't. So we'll see how it goes. So we're just going to move around the roof slowly, using a 4% chlorine mix, so not really hot. And we're not really we're using shit all chemical than we would normally be doing on a roof this size. So I'll let you know by the end of it how much chemical we actually use. We've got 1,000 square meters of roof here, so it's quite large, as you can see out to the back there. I'm just not moving around too fast, because I've got a backpack on me, so I don't move too fast, and I don't go down. When I go down to the edge, you'll see me. I stand on an angle. Yeah. So I'm standing on an angle. I'm leaning up the roof, and then I'm using my sprayer to go down the roof and get that front edge. That way I'm nowhere near the edge and I'm more controlled. Once I get 4 or 5 tiles up the roof, then I'm a lot more certain about myself, but I'd rather move like a snail and get home to my family rather than trying to get the job done 2 hours faster and have potential time in the hospital or die. So we're just going to move around slowly and see where we get, how fast we get, and go from there. Catch you later. Alright, so we're just finishing off here. Got a little spot check to do there. Everything else is pretty good. Just got a couple of bits on the back to tidy off this run here and that down there, because we did end up bringing up the soft wash hose and doing the guts where the wind wasn't blowing, and we let it run down the roof just on those areas there. So I got to come along here and I got to fill in the last manhole. So we'll get some tape there and I'll show you how to do it. So what I've done here is I stuck the duct tape in backwards. So when I pull this flap down, I can stick it onto there and there. So when I run duct tape down there, and then there, most of the time I go across the bottom first, make sure that's nice and tight, and then down, because that way if water gets in here, that duct tape on the bottom is underneath these side flaps. So there you go, and then you got nice solid ends to push there. So what we do is that top tile there is a little bit not high enough. Go up a little bit. That one first. It's always hard when you're filming. That one there. And then you just wiggle those two down. So nice and easy.